Hello, darlings. Hello. 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 Oh, well, I give up. I'm going to take this down anyway. I've got to do the laundry. Put that up because of my cat. I like this shirt. I got this shirt in Japan. Mhm. Oh, got to mute that. All right. Well, welcome, 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 my fellow sensitive people. I just thought we would come together and have a little bit of a coffee. I look rather elegant in a casual sort of way. This is kind of good. This is not a color I usually wear because I'm a winter, and this is more of an autumn's color. But I really I love earth tones. I really like them. Yeah. So, how is everybody? Is everybody okay? Hopefully, people can come hang and have some lunch if you're having lunch. Um, I'll try and give us some more light. Hold on a second. Get rid of this. Welcome, welcome. So, for those people who don't know, I'm just finishing up Fallen by Audrey Steidel. I'm not done with it yet. And then after that, we are starting. Some of you may have already started our Book of the Month Club. T.A. McLaughlin, The Love of Tayami is our book, and hopefully she'll be in the studio sometime in mid-August. We're a little bit behind, so now we've been doing sorry, I just want to check. I don't have any creepy crawlies there. Yeah, so hopefully she'll be in the studio. If you have a book that you've written and you would like to be on Taco Tuesdays, please send it to us, care of Dr. Whimsy Anderson, P.O. Box 1819 Southwest 5th Avenue, Suite 116, Portland, Oregon 97201. The information's below, and maybe your book can appear at our monthly Book of the Month Club. Is everybody liking our Books of the Month so far? You like the selections? I select them personally. I read them or I look at them. I don't read. Usually, I read them along with everybody else. I like strong female characters, like that are supernatural. Like this one, I'm excited about because it's a strong female and it's sci-fi. And that's totally like up my alleyway. Just women in their power. I want woman power to happen. Hi, Stephanie Stevens. Great to see you here. Hi, Sandy Miller. Welcome. Robin Smith. Hello. Robin Gray. Johnny Appleseeds. Good to see you. Renee S. Hello. Jen, Seattle Book Lady. Hello. Desiree Rabato. Debbie B, thank you so much for your memberships and for your support of the channel. I don't know what you're eating and drinking. I know what I'm eating and drinking. I am having soda water with a vegan vanilla chai. Yeah, it's a vanilla chai. It's really, really good. It has almost no green tea in it. It's mostly just vanilla. It's mostly just vanilla soy milk, to be honest with you. Yeah, delish. Okay, I've got to put this in subscribers mode for people. So, are we growing? Are we evolving? Are we living in our own boxes? Or does empathy allow us to put ourselves in the shoes of other people and try and understand why they are making the choices that they are making? Let's discuss empathy and the ability to put ourselves in the shoes of another person. L'chaim, l'chaim. Have you ever met a truly evil person? This is the question for our coffee talk. Yeah, it's cotton. The clothes are so cheap in Tokyo. The cheapest place to buy clothes if you are in Japan is to go to Sendai Mall, which is 81 buildings, all connected to the subway. And we stayed in Sendai for 3 days, and we spent 2 days at the mall. And I spent $80. Yeah. But they had $5 t-shirts, and the problem wasn't that we couldn't afford the clothes. The problem is that we didn't leave enough space in our bags. And so I kind of got bummed because when I left, I only spent $80, and I could have bought like 2 or 3 more pairs of slacks. There's a couple more things I could have bought. And so I was kind of bummed out that I didn't buy more stuff. So yeah, so I think I got this for like $5, $6. Yeah, it's really nice. Just simple, you know. You could wear it with a jacket. I like, simple things like this. Oh, nice, Debbie. Um, yeah, I think that what I've been really meditating on lately is this idea of, are we, have you ever had somebody in your life that's truly evil? I guess this is the conversation. Or do you think it's somebody who was telling themselves stories? So we all tell ourselves stories. And I think that, after Donald Trump was shot, like he was nicked by the bullet, different people responded differently, and different people told themselves different stories. For example, one of the stories that's being used to promote Trump is he's a fighter. Well, that's true. He is a fighter, right? And also that they've done everything to take him down, and yet he survives. So we see that a story is being written, right? And it's a very powerful story that is probably going to help quite a bit with his ratings, because it almost looks metaphysical, right? It looks like something metaphysical is happening, that God had graced him. Now there's another conversation that's happening. This is one story that's happening, which is that number 45 is chosen, right? And that this event happened because he is chosen. And we immediately have a knee-jerk reaction to that as Democrats, right? Because we remember January 6th, right? We know what happened on January 6th. So what we have is we have two competing narratives. We have the narrative of the Christ-like person who rises. He's resurrected over and over again, just like Jesus, because he is the chosen one. This is the narrative. And ever since he had that bullet graze him, this has been the narrative. And now they've even done analysis of his head and going into position. And then just as the bullet was coming, he moved out of position. Then another bullet, he goes into position, he goes out of position twice. I mean, they are creating a pretty powerful story that this guy was protected by God, and it is God. This is reaffirming their faith that this is the chosen one. You see how this is happening? So we need to, if we are voting for Biden, digest that. The other conversation that's coming up is that the Secret Service hated him, right? That even Liz Cheney said in her biography that the Secret Service hated him. So if the Secret Service hated Trump, were they lax in security? Discuss, discuss. Yeah, Biden 2024. How? You see, Scorpio. That's we we're trying to. Okay, let me try again. Why does the Democratic Party love me? It's my job to help you guys understand how the opposition thinks so that we can win, right? So the other thing that's coming up, Secret Service did not adequately secure the buildings. I wondered why weren't there, yes, why weren't there police? These are questions, and they're legitimate questions. And I think that if Biden had been shot and it had been Trump in the White House, we'd be asking the same question. So I think these are legitimate questions. There needs to be a complete investigation on how this happened. Sure, absolutely. Now, in terms of why did Silicon Valley leave? Silicon Valley is leaving Biden, right? They've been pretty public about it. The number one reason that people were leaving California is that nothing could be built, right? The complaint was that they had created so much regulation that production had stopped altogether, right? This was the number one complaint when business people started pulling business out of California. Why is this important? This is important because California makes up 1/5 of the economy of the world. So if 1/5 of the economy of the world is saying we cannot function under a democratic state that has good regulation that protects the environment, sure, but this is way beyond that. So an example would be, continuing on with this argument, an example of that would be what's going on with the subway system right now in LA, that they have accomplished almost nothing because of overregulation. And the best thing for the environment to get CO2 down, et cetera, is we've got to continue the LA subway system. But over-regulation has cost billions and people have scrapped. So that tells me, as a registered Democrat and somebody who wants to help Democratic strategists win, that we need to address this issue so that we can get the money back in California and back. Silicon Valley needs to come back to the Democrats, because if we lose their financial support, it's going to be really hard for us to win in 2024. And so this is the main reason they walk out and they say, hey, it's the dirty pill we had to swallow, but we can't continue on with this kind of restriction. Our businesses are not, we're not able to, we can't even continue the subway. There's so much restriction. The second reason why the business world left the Democrats had to do with sanctions. Sanctions are a nice idea, saying we're no longer going to buy your stuff. But what if your entire company, which hires 40,000 people and feeds 150,000 people because they're relying on those paychecks, what if you can't continue your business because of sanctions and you can't get your parts? So this is another reason why libertarians and independent business people are moving towards Biden. So we can are moving towards Trump. So again, if we care about the Democrats winning, we have to look at what can we do about the sanctions and what can we do about the fact that business is leaving California. And I think that if we can address those two issues and address them aggressively, and not be enemies of the business people, but say, you're right, you're employing a lot of people and you're your work has to continue because it's for the good of humanity. So what can we do to keep you in California? And do it in a way where we can protect the planet, but not do it in a way where we are squeezing out business. And if we don't address these two issues, then the money will continue to go towards Trump. This is why the money is going. They don't care about the abortion issue. This is not. So these people are going to lie to themselves. Well, he didn't say he was going to take away people's abortion rights in California, right? So people start to lie to themselves. The business people are lying to themselves. They're lying to themselves because they cannot continue to function under sanctions, and they can't continue to function with the kind of restrictions that are taking place in states like California. So we have to find a solution. Biden has to find a solution. Democratic governors have to find a solution. And at the same time, while we are doing that, while we are addressing those two issues, which I think it's important we do address them, we also have to remind people of what the Democrats stand for. And, a woman's right to choose is top of the list. And our support for the LGBTQ community, right? And racial equality. And loan forgiveness for poor students. And affordable housing. Free healthcare. These are our values, right? So in addition to, it just feels to me, meditating on this as a remote viewer, hearing what people are saying, looking at the energy of how do we dismantle our enemy by giving the people what they need, but packaging it as Democrats. And I think we can do that. So does everybody hear what I'm saying? I'm saying we need to listen to what the business world is saying because it's legitimate, and stop demonizing them as evil. These people are employing 50,000 employees. We have to work with the business world. And at the same time, we have to remind people, we have to regroup and remind people of what our values and ethics are. Right. So what is going to draw people to the Democratic Party? Right. But at the same time, we don't want to be the party of just poor people. Tesla's moved to Austin, and now Twitter, X, is moving to Texas because employees were complaining that they were afraid for their safety because there were so many homeless, and they were not able to get certain things done because of restrictions. And so yesterday, Elon Musk announced, okay, that's it, we're leaving. Okay, boys and girls, we're moving to Texas. And his staff went, yay! They were happy about it because they were going to an area of town where they were literally afraid to park their cars. Cars were getting broken into. And he was, I guess he and Gavin Newsom don't get along. And part of the problem had to do with the collapse of San Francisco and the fact that the only thing you're focusing on in his mind was helping homeless people, so that now it's a city of homeless people while simultaneously making it impossible to do business. This is the argument, and I think it's a legitimate argument. How can we hear that and yet still retain our values as Democrats without calling people names and calling them evil? That's not how you win elections. You hear what they're saying, you recognize that it's legitimate what they're saying, and then you find a way to, we find solutions as Democrats, right? Let's do the empath prayer and we can do some blitzes. Does that sound like fun to you guys? Campaign finance reform would be a good one. $45 million a month to get Trump elected. That's pretty morally, if somebody believes in democracy and believes in the Constitution, that's not equality. That's one person spending $45 million. Yeah. All right, let's do the empath prayer. Okay. I want to call on white light protection for myself and this community as we ask permission from Spirit to access the Akashic records. We call on our spirit guides and our good angels to be with us. Please give us the clarity and the wisdom that is needed to empower all of us on our journeys to make the best decisions for ourselves, our families, the planet, the people we love, but also to help those that we may have strife with. And together, collectively, we say, Amen. All right. What kind of world do we want to create? Yeah, and I don't think that the ends justify the means, right? Yeah. Anybody going away for the holiday? Anybody for the summer break? Anything like that? You have a guy that has dark moods, which affects me. How do you clear that BS? By getting away from him, Stephanie. Do not. You don't want to be around. And somebody who has dark moods that it's affecting you in a negative manner like that, then I would not have them around me. I can't have people like that around me. I got my own problems. That's my own personal opinion. I know it seems harsh, but one of the things I've learned is that if people are toxic to you, just cut the cord and get rid of them. It's a really brutal thing to do, but have more. The biggest mistake of my life was that I always had more compassion for everybody else than myself. And now is the time when I make sure that my needs are met, because I learned the hard way that nobody else was going to do it, right? Okay, so looks like Adam Schiff is, people are upset with Adam Schiff. A lot of people feel that Biden should step down. And I believe Adam Schiff might be one of those people. We can take a look and see what's going on with Adam Schiff. Adam Schiff. He's always showing evidence. Could be because of incompetence in prosecuting Trump. It could be because he's upset about the Justice Department, but there's something about evidence. Opposition is confident. The hope and the fear, what's probably the Democratic convention in August, and donors. More donors are coming in. Schiff is doing really well in the polls. Did he win is he running for Senate? He's got a major transformation here over his finances. Look at this power. Is he running for Senate? It looks like he's got a lot of power here. His opposition is grieving. I could see him winning in California. Look at this, death and transformation over his finances. He's gaining power, that's for sure. Laws in place to prevent them from buying single-family residence. Yeah, I don't know what that's about. Yeah. Well, a lot of you guys got mad because I said I liked Florida. So I don't like the humidity, but I mean, in the springtime, it's amazing. I mean, summer vacation is the holiday, you know. People are in the middle of um oh, he got old man grumpy. Yeah, this is why I'm single, because what I'm terrified that marriage, I'll be trapped. You know, I don't want to ever be trapped, stuck to somebody, and then they're sick, and you got to take care of them. It's like it's, you know, I got enough problems with my cat. Okay, people. I know I'm so heartless. I am. I'm a selfish woman. What can I say? Okay, we have Jane Addams says that she's from BC, Canada. Hi, BC, Canada. I grew up at your door. That your Democratic Party wins as Trump is insane. You think? Okay, let's look and see how the Democratic Party is going to be doing. Democratic Party in 2024. We could be really harmed if we could be our worst enemies. You can see everybody's looking at their ethics. Our opposition is back and forth. Hope and fear that we're walking into a fool's game. We could be betrayed by our own. The clarification. We can still win, but we've got to get organized, and we have to stop attacking each other. Internal fighting is one of the worst things for our campaign at this point. Those types of cards. Let's see how Biden's cards are. Trump's looking pretty good ever since he had that miracle of rising again and everything. You know, there's always a bump after the Republican convention. People forget January 6th. Americans have short memories. Biden's cards for 2024. Will he win? It's very likely that Biden will win re-election. He has the contract. The opposition begins to fight. The hopes and fears is financial restrictions. He's going to have to address the complaints by the business community. And if he can do that, he can win re-election. Archangel Gabriel, re-election. Yes, he can win re-election, but he should listen to the Oracle of Whimsy and begin to stop calling business people evil and start to listen to them, particularly business people that are reinvesting in research and hiring researchers and feeding, 100,000 family members that are employed in research that betters humanity. Yes, we can cut you a tax break because the profits are going back into research. I have no problems with that. In fact, I'd like these people to continue. And I'm very happy with the fact that engineers and scientists are having jobs and are able to feed their families. I have no problem with that as a Democrat. I think we need to work with the business world and not, I'm happy with him employing a bunch of scientists. Give them, that is, the profits go back to starting another company, Neuralink, Boring. But after all of that, what's your take-home salary? It gets to be excessive. If your take-home salary is $80K and you get benefits like, you get somebody making you your green smoothie in the morning and you got a private jet, I think most people can live with that. The problem with that Americans are having is with gluttony. And with people that have these absorbent CEO, that's what people are complaining about. Not somebody whose company is making billions and then they're reinvesting it and hiring more researchers. And that's not our complaint. Our complaint is about inflated CEO salaries. I think it's also important as Democrats that we understand what our struggle is. We're not talking about a company that takes massive amounts of profits and pours it into helping people who are cripple walk. Those are government contracts. We're willing to work with those people. We're talking about this inflation where, say, somebody's working, they're making below minimum wage, and the CEOs are continually giving themselves raises. We're seeing this a lot in banking. A lot of banks had that. Biggest threat to Biden being reelected is infighting, arguing, attacking our presidential candidate, not going 100% with him, not being organized, and floating off into fantasy land. The other big warning is for us to pick fights with our donors, pick fight with the millionaires and billionaires, listen to why they're leaving, try and figure out how we can have sensible reform that gets people that everybody can live with, because we want Biden to be reelected. We don't want people to be frustrated by restrictions, etc., and running off to join a fascist party, right? So that's why I've been saying what I'm saying. And it's frustrating because people aren't listening to what I'm saying. I'm saying I want the Democrats to win. And if we don't address these issues that are causing business people to run out of California in droves, if we don't address issues of the border, etc., then we're living in a fantasy world. We have to be able to sit down and talk about what the real issues are and find resolutions. We have to reach across the aisle and find resolutions. Okay, Mitch McConnell looks like he should just go to bed. I mean, he's extremely old. Let's look at Mitch McConnell. He didn't cut the head off the beast. He had his reasons. Let's take a look. Mitch McConnell, beautiful Mitch McConnell, right? Just always there, the turtle. They call him the turtle. Mitch McConnell, he's fighting for his stuff. It's all about the courts. It's all about the courts. That's what he always said. 7 of Wands. He's fighting for his territory. His opposition has the star. So he's still fighting Trump. He's still having problems with Trump. Look at what the mandate is. 3 of Pentacles would be to build a blueprint. So he wants to look at the mandate. What are you building? There will be no beginning. He's already starting to break away from Trump. Inverted Page of Wands. He feels that Trump is a false knight. And that this will come to an end very quickly. Like this fantasy is going to come crashing down in the near future. And something's going to happen, he believes, that's going to end this whole thing. These are the concerns. I don't know if it's true, but there's something here where he feels like he has to defend his territory, and Mitch feels that something's going to happen that's going to take Trump out. And so he's more interested in who the running. It's like they think the running mate is going to be the next president because of this ethos card here, and then an inverted Page of Wands, which would be going nowhere, or the road that goes nowhere, right? Because the Page of Wands is Archangel Uriel or Ari. Are we having class tonight or Friday? Do you guys want class tonight or do you want class tomorrow, Friday? Just tell me. Introduction to the Tarot. It's kind of fun to do it on Friday because it's right before Shabbat. But so New Beginnings inverted tells me that on some level, I'm wondering, let's take a look at Trump quickly. Do you think it's possible that they don't see Trump as they think he has no future once all this stuff rolls out, and that they're just using him to get Vance in because Vance is an easier sell? I don't know. Let's take a look. Trump's cards. Trump's future for the courts or in the presidency would be, yeah, he lives in his fantasy world. He rubs his lamp. His opposition is legal action, going to the White House, 10 of Wands, carrying a load and moving, and 2 of Cups. He takes the offer. So he definitely takes the GOP offer. He defends his territory he's defending himself against the world, his hopes and fears, a new beginning, and his final outcome is justice will be done to this individual, however we want to interpret it. The Queen of Swords is over him. He defends himself against the world. There are people there. He defends himself against the international courts. I don't know what that's about. It could be that Putin gets charged for bribing people. I know that Le Pen is facing charges. Why that took so long, I can't tell you. They were talking about charging Le Pen for bribery years ago. What the hell took them so long? France, hello, would you have a cup of coffee? Wake up. And now they're talking here, courts international being the opposition of Trump, and he's defending himself against international courts. That's very interesting. So let's stick a pin in it, as Rachel Maddow would say, and let's sit back and see what happens. Yeah, so some kind of an international court event is going to happen with Trump in the very near future. It's interesting. It reminds me of when I went into a remote with Prince William, and Prince William was saying, now, Meghan, that's not quite right. You tried to kill me, because he sent reporters to drive them off the road in New York. Well, New York took it very seriously. They filed police reports. Meghan and Harry did. And then they said, if you step foot in New York, we're going to go ahead and charge you. There's a good chance we'll be charging you, because this kind of reckless behavior, we don't put up with this in New York. So what I took from that remote, when I heard myself say that, because I'm an empath, so I become whoever I, am, who I'm asked to remote view. I took away from that experience that they planned on trying to sue and go after him directly. And if they can go on for criminal charges, they will. And that they have lawyers working on it, which puts him in the doghouse, right? So you have that same kind of energy with Trump that you have with Prince William, I'm sorry to say, in the sense that you have this violent lack of impulse control. And and also vengeful, wanting to go after their rivals, even driving them off of all the while people are saying, oh, he's a nice guy, or oh, he's a good person. I had people laughing and saying, oh, this is not traumatic for a child to be exposed to this kind of screaming behavior, that, but I'm a pretty sensitive person, right? And I go into energy, and I invite you to be George. Put yourself in his body and stand there as your father is screaming above your head, and recognize that your father's the future king. Do you like that feeling? You like having someone shouting on top of your freaking head while I feel like I'm being pounded into the ground. I feel like I just wanted to look at the face of this poor child. Look at that poor kid. That's called offline. That's when a kid goes offline. Click, he's gone. This kid has completely disassociated. Look at that face. Now, I don't think you have to be a psychic to put yourself in his shoes. How would I feel if my father was screaming on top of my head? And How many times well, according to eyewitnesses, he puts up with it a lot. This is changing the mental health of his kids, his drinking problem, his impulse control, right? Just like Donald Trump. And dangerous. This is another person who should not have the reins of power. Poor kid. Look at this poor kid. That's child abuse. That is witnessed child abuse. And everybody's like, good on. And they're completely rewriting the story. This goes back to how we write stories. Good on William that he's fighting. No, he's emotionally unstable with a head injury, and he's traumatizing his entire family. And that's why they're separated, separated but working separate, right? So the takeaway is, I see this, as a remote viewer, I see very similar aspects between Trump, impulse control, and this need, the vengeance. I guess that's what I'm talking about. It's this kind of, desire to go after your enemies to the point where you completely annihilate them. And the fact, and it's the personality of somebody who's never had, has never had a boundary put up, right? And that's what you see with these rich kids too. Also, the thing with Trump and William that I noticed when I was as a remote viewer was that they both basically, the mothers were beaten down, right? The father is this mega star, right? Fred Trump. The mother is quailing, whether it's Mary Trump or Diana from this. And the son learns very early on that he can do whatever he likes and that there are no consequences, whether it's throwing mashed potatoes at the table or, William taunting his friends until somebody puts a hockey puck in his head, right? Or a hockey, what are those things called? A hockey putt in his head, right? So that's interesting to me. What are we going to do as sane people to take control of people like that? The person that doesn't have the person that's so desperate for vengeance. Well, thank you, Stephanie. That's exactly where I would go with this. This is what I would invite people to have a conversation. How does the malignant narcissist get created? The malignant narcissist gets created because nobody says no to the malignant narcissist, right? So that's the story of the mother who goes crazy, right? So who is the mother that goes crazy? The mother who goes crazy, who is Prati or Durga. Durga is the mother, right? And let me see if I can find some of this symbolism here. Okay, you guys are mad at Elon Musk because he's joined the dark side, right? He went from voting for Biden to voting. Okay, so this will make you feel better. This is, I think, one of his kids, Elon Muskle. I'm convinced his daughter put this one up. Yeah, this is what his kids do. They try to humiliate him with AI. I thought that was a good way of getting back at him. Strawberry fashion, Daddy. You look great. You don't agree with his politics, just humiliate him with bad memes. But let me see. I want to show you guys something that I found recently. And do you guys like Bollywood movies at all? Yes, no. So the story of Kali, right? Kamala has the name. Kamala is a divine aspect of Kali, but Kali comes from Divine Mother, and there are just some people in this world that are spoiled brats. Would you agree? There are just some people in this world that are just spoiled brats. And so Kali is the mother that is so sick and tired. More, give me more, give me more. More takes from the earth, never gives back. And the divine, the person who gives and gives and gives and gives, and then they have to teach the taker. In this world, there are givers and there are takers. And there comes a point when the giver is transformed into Kali, and this too is necessary for the balance of the earth. There comes a point when you have to say no to the children who are out of control. Let's take a look at this 2-minute clip, 2 minutes, 37 seconds of the transformation of the Divine Mother into the demon Kali. She's had enough. Okay, so that is the transformation of Parvati or Durga. If you want to call her Durga, that's fine. And as she is turned into the demon because her children were spoiled little brats. They take and they take and they take. And that's the problem when you're a nice person, isn't it? Is that people will just drain you dry. There are people in this world that are happy to keep taking, right? So energetically, she is the energy that comes in when people feel like they are exploited. Now, you could say that's people going postal, right? People going into the post office and making trouble, right? um, it's the rage that comes when we seek justice, absolute. Now, there are different images of, of Kali, of calming herself. Now, when she is calm, she is Kamala. So the divine as Kamala is a different. This is an image of Kamala. So Kamala has stayed her temper. Kamala has the ability, the goddess Kamala, to do great destruction. Both the beauty of the Divine Mother and the demon exist in Kamala. But Kamala is divine compassion for the world. Yes. It's balance. It's moving away from the destruction of Kali, away from give until you're exploited. And instead, with Kamala, we see balance. We see justice personified. We have the stay of the hand. You can see the hand personified there as boundaries. She's putting up a hand. We must learn boundaries. She gives, right? She puts the lotus there. We must have compassion, but we must also have boundaries. And that is the gift of Kuan Yin. That's the gift of Kamala. Okay, any questions about that and the archetypes and any of the energy that we're battling with as we, deal with these archetypes and, yeah, I mean, if you go into Kamala, if you go into just Goddess Kamala, here's another image I can show you. But the idea is that it's a personification of the deity as gentle. Here's another Kamala goddess imagery. You can see it's not the aggressive, it's a balanced depiction of Kali. See, Lakshmi Kali, it comes from Lakshmi Prafti, but Kamala is kind. They're all expressions of Lakshmi, the divine feminine, all of them. Some of them are really nice. Some of the images of Kamala are quite beautiful. I'll show you a couple more. But we are entering into the time of Kamala, is what I'm saying. So it doesn't have to be the destruction. That looks a little bit like her, doesn't it? It doesn't have to be the destruction of Kali. What we learn from Kamala is that we can have justice absolute. We can have it but we can do it in a way that's tempered. You see, there is a Kamala again, putting the hand of temperance. Okay, that was fun. Yeah, I think I'm going to go have some lunch now. I'm hungry. What should I eat? What should I eat? I'll tell you what I want to eat. I want to eat an Italian sub with peppers in it. I want an Italian sub with mixed meats, a little bit of vinegar and oil. What am I going to have instead, right? Because that's what I want. Like, if my reptile, if I, a nice grilled baguette from a really good, souvlaki. Oh, yes. Oh, I miss those Greek diners. So many have closed down. Boy, did I love those with a nice Greek omelet. Hi, Aquas 333. Hope you're feeling okay. Be Kind says I should do it. Should I order an Italian sub? That's what I really want. Can I get a root beer with it? Do I have a voucher? Let's just come on. Like, do I have 30% off? I had homemade pasta with homemade puttanesca sauce that had aged for a month. It was out in the sun in a bottle for a month. It was delicious. It was delicious. I just packed a bunch of vegetables, onions, zucchini, tomatoes, a can of anchovies, oregano, those capers, and then lemon juice, garlic, I put a lot of garlic because I bought an elephant garlic and I chopped like a bunch of it. So it was a really garlicky sauce. And then what you do is you seal it with the lemon juice, the olive oil, the spices, the tomatoes, the anchovies, and you just let it sit in the sun. It's crazy. I left it for a month. And when I got back to it, it was literally boiling. It was really funny. It was like bubbling. So I thought, oh, this is going to be, I left it when I went on my trip. So I thought, and I've got a couple of kimchis and some a bunch of. Anytime vegetables are going bad, I just clean them, chop them up, and put them in oil and olive oil with some garlic and whatever, and just leave it in the sun and turn it into a fermented product. And then it's a sauce. It's just something I learned when I was traveling through Italy and I saw the fermenting jars. And, you know, it's better than wasting it, right? Because I had a zucchini that was going bad. I had onions. I bought a big thing of $25 olive oil online so that I can pack things in olive oil. And so no food gets wasted. That's a broke aristocrat's trick for you. Always have to use the lemon juice to reduce risk for botulism. They say put in 2 tablespoons per quart. I go higher than that. I sometimes go a quarter. But a lot of people don't like their sauces to have that much lemon juice in it. Or they say you can do vinegar. Some people will put a balsamic vinegar. I saw a lot of marinades with balsamic when I was in Italy. It depends on if you have a refrigerator. The very, very poor in Italy don't have refrigerators. So everything is just packed in jars with olive oil and lemons or vinegar usually. Mm-hmm. Well, if you have no refrigerator, what else can you do, right? You think about World War II, the people didn't have refrigerators when the Americans came in. And so everything, the vegetables, everything were dried, like dried tomatoes. They were dried and then stored in olive oil. It's been a very short amount of time that we've had the luxury of a refrigerator, And of course, these sauces I'm making, you can marinate tofu or meat if you do meat, and you can grill it. And that's another way that you get to use it. But last night I just made a puttanesca pasta, and I put some Parmesan Romano shavings on it. It was one of the best. And it wasn't anything fancy. I just did what I saw them doing when I was in Pomora. Where was it? By where the pizza place is. I saw them fermenting it was real simple, like 5 ingredients, just like they do. And it's really good. Yeah, I highly recommend it. Yeah, just get a big thing of olive oil. The cheapest way to do it if you're wanting good quality Greek or Italian is to get large ones on Amazon. That's what my mother used to buy, large ones at the Greek store. And then you can seal it, but you can also keep it in the refrigerator once you open it to keep it from going bad. It's not about Musk politics, sorry. It's also about not bothering with his first name wife's kids as much as he could. Oh, really? I don't know, because his kids work at Tesla, don't they? I thought, aren't his kids? There's some truth in what you're saying, Jillian, because when I remote viewed his daughter Jenna, she was really mad because she loved him so much and he went away. And what really broke her heart was the fact that he left her. And so all of this is, you're going to leave me, I'm going to double leave you. I don't want your name. This is her screaming, you left me, Daddy. And that was really that. So I always, not that I believe he ever reads my tweets. I mean, 50,000 people are sending tweets, but if he is, I always say, call your daughter, call your daughter, call your daughter. Because he's obviously in pain about it, and she's obviously in pain about it. And he doesn't care about the transgender thing. And he said that it's about her saying, you should give all your money away. Give all my money away. The money goes towards research. You're living high on the hog. I have a 500 square. So that's another thing. Like, he gave all the money away. I still don't want to talk to you because that's not what it was about. It was about the fact that he left her and she felt abandoned. So that's another thing is that I love about being a remote viewer is that you really get to be the other person. I want to be you. I don't want to just know you. I want to be you. And my heart was broken. I mean, divorce is really hard on the kids. And if my star, my daddy was my world, right? It was the ultimate betrayal, right? So that's how I felt. as his daughter. Grating Parmesan next. Okay, Unspoken, I'm coming to you. All right. Again, just wanted to mention, you guys, I'm going to go ahead and take off. Going to go have something to eat. If you're trying to get in for a reading with me, the information is below. I'd love to give you a tarot reading. The other thing is that I'll be in Sweden next week. So if any of you are in Sweden, please reach out to me. whimsyanderson@gmail.com. It'd be great to hang out with you. Yeah, that's why I love HCRV, is because I really get to be the other person. And then I become them so well that I can argue their argument. And then people hate me and unsubscribe. But they don't understand that that's precisely what I do. I mean, I can sit here and I can argue till the cows come home why Putin is upset. I can be Putin. I can be Trump. I can be Musk. I can be these people. And it's a really great skill if you want to avoid war. How can we really learn to listen to each other? And not just, oh, you're evil. Well, that's the end of the conversation. You call someone evil, it's pretty much the end of the conversation, right? All right. Be kind to all so that all will be kind to you too. Thank you guys for your love and support. And we'll see you next time. Be well, everyone.